Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everybody. We're diving into some pretty rough waters in the market this week.
Yeah, things are a little shaky right now, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, I think shaky's an understatement.
Yeah.
Last week, in April 2025, these new tariffs hit.
Right.
Pretty much everything coming into the U.S.
Yeah.
And the S&P 500. I mean, it's down, what, like 20% from the high we saw just a couple of months ago?
Yeah, it's a pretty big adjustment.
Yeah, it's a huge, I mean, it's a lot for people to process.
Sure.
And so for you, the listener, the big question is probably like, okay, what's this mean for my money?
Right.
What's this mean for, how I'm investing and how do I deal with all this trade tension?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. So we've got an interesting article here from the Motley Fool.
Okay.
And it's all about the iShares U.S. Tech Independence Focused ETF.
Okay.
Ticker symbol IETC, by the way, for those of you following along at home.
Yep.
And this article really digs into how this particular ETF might be affected by these new tariffs.
Okay, great.
So let's dive in and let's see what we can learn.
Yeah, let's take a look. So I think the first thing to understand is the sort of bigger picture of these new tariffs. As of April 5th, we basically have this broad 10% tariff on almost everything coming into the United States.
Yeah.
It's pretty wide-reaching.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. Basically, the cost of, almost everything that we buy that comes from outside the U.S.
Right.
It just went up 10% minimum.
Yeah, assuming those costs are passed on, of course.
Yeah. And then it's not just a flat 10%.
Right.
We've got these reciprocal tariffs as well.
Exactly. So, maybe to sort of balance things out.
Yeah.
As the Motley Fool article suggests, we've got these additional tariffs that are targeting specific countries, specifically countries that have these really large trade surpluses with the U.S. So, for example, like anything coming from Europe is now facing an extra 20% tariff.
Wow.
Taiwan's getting hit with an additional 32%.
Wow.
And then China has a further 34%.
Yeah.
And what's really important to understand here is that these tariffs, these are on top of that initial 10%.
Right.
And any existing tariffs that were already in place. So in some cases, we're talking about some pretty substantial total impact here.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of.
For sure.
And to kind of, figure out what the real implications are going to be. And I know from reading this article that there were some initial concerns, particularly around the tech sector and this whole, AI revolution that we've got going on. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So initially there was a lot of kind of nervousness, I guess you could say, particularly around Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing. This huge company that fabricates these, crucial semiconductor chips. And then, of course, Nvidia.
Right.
That makes a lot of these key chips that are needed for all these AI data centers. And the worry was that these tariffs would basically, throw this huge wrench in the works of the whole AI thing.
Yeah.
That it would just become that much more expensive to build and operate, these very vital components.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You think about how interconnected, the whole global supply chain is for semiconductors.
Exactly.
But then, the article pointed out something that I think is really important for you, the listener, to remember. Some products have actually been given exemptions from these tariffs.
That's right.
So that's a really key detail.
Yeah, it's not, total doom and gloom, at least not yet, right?
Yeah.
So for now, certain sectors have gotten kind of a temporary pass. So this includes, semiconductors themselves,
Okay.
pharmaceuticals,
Okay.
lumber, and energy. So for companies operating in these areas, this is pretty significant news.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's kind of turn our attention now to the iShares U.S. Tech Independence Focused ETF, or IETC.
Mm-hmm. So
for you, the listener, what's the big idea behind this ETF? What's its investment strategy? What are they trying to do?
Right. So basically this ETF, it's really focused on investing in American companies, companies that are doing a lot of their production and have a lot of their technological capabilities, their core stuff,
Okay.
And are generating a lot of their revenue all within the United States. So basically the idea is to invest in companies that are, less dependent on all these really intricate global supply chains.
Right.
And, less reliant on what's happening in international markets for their success.
Right.
They're a bit more self-contained,
And that's where it kind of comes full circle to this whole tariff situation.
Exactly.
Right. Like that's why this is, I think, relevant for you. Because the thinking is, well, maybe these companies are going to be a little bit better equipped to handle all this trade tension that's going on right now.
Precisely.
So what's the article's take on this?
So the Motley Fool, they're suggesting that IETC, it could potentially act as a kind of tariff safe haven.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of this place for investors like you to sort of weather the storm,
Yeah.
And a lot of this comes down to the fact that this ETF's holdings, they include companies that either benefit directly from these tariff exemptions that we talked about,
Right.
Like semiconductor firms like Broadcom, Nvidia,
Okay.
or they include companies that primarily operate in that world of digital services,
Yeah.
which aren't really, subject to these tariffs.
Right.
So, we're talking about software,
Yeah.
cloud computing, that kind of thing.
Got it.
Those aren't physical goods that are being, imported and slapped with these tariffs.
Right, yeah. So that's an interesting kind of angle to think about.
Mm-hmm.
For your portfolio, what are some of the holdings? You mentioned Broadcom, Nvidia. What else is in this EPF? Like, what are some of the top companies?
Yeah, so as of early April 2025, the top 12 companies in this ETF, they make up over half of the whole portfolio.
Okay.
So it's worth going through them.
Yeah, let's walk through those.
Okay, so we've got Broadcom, we mentioned them, 10.82% weighting.
Yeah.
And then Amazon comes in at 8.15%.
Got it.
Microsoft, 7.71%.
Okay.
And Nvidia at 7.59%.
Okay.
Palantir Technologies in there at 5.54%.
Okay.
And then, the big ones, Alphabet, 3.73%, Salesforce at 3.67%, and then Oracle at 2.63%, and Meta Platforms at 2.06%.
Okay.
We've also got MasterCard at 1.08%, Palo Alto Networks at 0.85%, and finally Atlassian at 0.76%.
Okay, wow. So a pretty big list of companies.
Yeah.
So let's connect some of these names back to that idea of a tariff safe haven. Like we mentioned Broadcom, Nvidia, they benefit from these semiconductor exemptions. You've got, Microsoft, Alphabet, Oracle, Meta.
Right.
They're all getting most of their revenue from software and other digital offerings. So they're kind of sidestepping these tariffs.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all well-positioned for growth in areas that aren't really going to be directly impacted by tariffs on, physical goods.
Right. Now, what about Amazon? A lot of people think of Amazon, and they think e-commerce.
Right.
And you would think, like, oh, well, they're going to be affected because all the stuff they're selling is imported.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And I think it's likely that Amazon's e-commerce business, it will face some headwinds because the costs of all these imported goods are going up.
Right.
But the interesting thing about Amazon is that, their cloud computing division, Amazon Web Services,
Right.
AWS, it's actually their biggest profit driver.
Okay.
And the key thing here is that it seems like that's actually exempt from these current tariffs.
Oh.
So, for Amazon, it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But they have this really significant portion of their business that's potentially pretty well protected.
Right. So mixed bag, but a good chunk of their business is protected. Okay. Now, the article does mention some things for you, the listener, to kind of keep in mind.
Yes, absolutely. There are some potential risks. It's not all, sunshine and roses here.
Yeah. What are some of the things that people should be thinking about?
Okay, so the first thing to remember is that this whole situation, it's very fluid. Things can change quickly.
Yeah.
And, one thing the Motley Fool mentions is that, foreign countries, they could retaliate.
Right.
And they could retaliate in a way that, specifically targets some of these major U.S. tech companies with their own tariffs. So, even these companies that seem really well insulated, their performance could be impacted if that happens.
Right. So it's for you, the listener, it's not just a one-way street.
Exactly.
This is all very much in flux, and things could escalate in ways that we don't expect.
Absolutely.
Okay, what else should we be thinking about?
So I think another important consideration here, is the broader economic consequences.
Okay.
So even if a company mainly operates in the digital space, if the global economy starts to weaken, that can still have a negative impact on their bottom line.
Right.
Like businesses might start cutting back on software subscriptions or cloud spending.
Right.
If they're feeling the pinch because of these tariffs.
Yeah, it's all very interconnected.
Exactly.
And then there's this question about business confidence, right?
Yeah.
Like the article talks about that, particularly in sectors like AI infrastructure, which is, that's a huge upfront investment.
Right, yeah.
So what are their thoughts on that?
Yeah, so they basically asked this question. Will these big players like Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, Oracle, Meta, will they keep, pouring all this money into AI data centers?
Right.
And these advanced chips from suppliers like Nvidia, if there's all this, economic uncertainty, like
Right.
they've clearly made, big long-term bets on AI.
Right.
But if the market's volatile for too long, who knows? They may start to rethink their spending plans.
Yeah, so even those companies that seem like they're best positioned, they could face some indirect headwinds.
Exactly.
So it's a really complicated situation.
It is. It is.
Okay, so I want to shift gears a little bit here and kind of look at some historical context.
Okay.
And how this particular ETF has performed in the past. So, the article draws this interesting parallel to the tariffs that were implemented during President Trump's first term.
Right.
And, back in 2018, there were these tariffs on steel and aluminum.
Right, right.
And they point out that that actually contributed to a nearly 20% drop in the S&P 500 that year.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how, how these trade wars can really affect the market.
Yeah, and it kind of highlights, that the potential impact of trade protectionism, right?
Right, exactly, yeah. Now, it's interesting because this iShares U.S. Tech Independence Focused ETF, it was launched in 2018.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So what's the article say about its performance since then?
So since its inception in 2018, this ETF has delivered, for investors like you, a compound annual return of 18%.
Wow.
So, to put that in perspective, that's significantly higher than the S&P 500's average annual increase over that same period, which is about 13.3%. So, it seems like this strategy of focusing on these, domestically oriented tech companies, it's been a pretty successful approach so far. And that 18% figure, for you, the listener, it essentially tells us the average yearly growth rate of the investment over that period, assuming that, the returns were reinvested.
Okay, yeah. So that's a pretty big difference in performance.
It is.
But the article also talks about, the ETF's more recent performance.
Right, right. So things aren't quite as rosy right now.
Yeah.
So at the moment, the ETF's actually down about 25% from its all-time high.
Okay.
Which means it's actually underperforming the broader S&P 500 currently.
Right. Okay.
But the article does offer a kind of, more hopeful outlook. Mm-hmm. They suggest that the ETF is probably going to rebound quicker once the market stabilizes.
Okay.
Once things settle down a little bit.
So why do they think that?
Well, it all comes back to the way the ETF is structured,
right?
The fact that it's so heavily weighted towards these companies that are either exempt from these tariffs or less directly affected by them.
Right, right. So it's almost like it's built to weather the storm.
Exactly. And the Motley Fool, they kind of wrap up that section by, really stressing that this ETF, it invests in a bunch of really high quality companies, companies that have strong long-term prospects, which should hopefully provide a really solid base for future growth once, all this market craziness subsides.
Okay, so to bring this all together for you, the listener, our deep dive today has really focused on this iShares U.S. Tech Independence Focused ETF.
Right.
In light of all these new tariffs.
Right.
And what we've seen is that it could potentially be a way to navigate this, very uncertain market.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes down to the fact that, it's strategically focused on American tech companies that are generating, a lot of their revenue from digital services.
Right.
And they've got some exposure to sectors that are currently exempt from these tariffs.
Exactly.
Like we talked about with semiconductors.
Right. Yeah, it's a pretty well thought out strategy, given the circumstances.
Right, right.
But I think it's important to keep in mind that, this is all still a very dynamic situation.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And, the possibility of those retaliatory tariffs from other countries and the wider effects of, potentially a global slowdown, all of that's still really important to consider. It could impact, even these investments that seem very well positioned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not a guaranteed win by any means. Things could change very rapidly.
Right. And as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, here's something for you to think about, as you're going through all this. How might this ETF's current positioning, given what we know about how it performed during that last trade war, back in 2018, how might that give us some clues about how the relationship between tech investments and these global trade policies, how that's changing?
Right.
It's a lot to consider.
It is. It's a lot to consider.
But it's definitely something to think about as you're navigating these uncertain times.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive, everybody.
See you next time.
We'll see you next time.